Hey guys, Transformers fan here, and today I'm going to be reviewing one last 1996 or Studio Series 86 figure, and that will be Scourge. So here's a quick look at the figure up close. We have Scourge's name here on the side. Turn it around, and here's an extremely beautiful picture for Scourge. And here's a quick look at the back of the figure. And he does come with his iconic background from the 1986 movie. So I'll be opening up this figure here on camera, and we'll be going over the figure itself. So I'm pretty excited for this figure, and if anyone asks where I got him, I purchased this alongside my other Studio Series 86 figure, Hot Rod, and my Kingdom figures, all at CMD Store. You can check them out. I'll leave a link in the comments. So, one last look at the packaging here before I switch on to our little background piece. So I'll be using this for the video. Here's a quick look at both sides. Here's kickback and shrapnel, and obviously you can bring your Earthrise Thundercracker. I don't know where mine is. I could go pull it out right now, and just to show you guys for example. So here we have Thundercracker, and sadly he's not as good as a figure as, well, Starscream, and mainly due to his QC problems. And this guy has a lot of quality control problems. For example, I touch these wings. This one doesn't even want to move on me, and it just pops off. Simple as that, it just pops off. The other one works properly. That's a relief. But yeah, sadly, this figure just does not work. So I'm really hoping we get the complete opposite from our good friend Scourge here. So I'm gonna open Scourge out of his packaging. So the first things we get with Scourge's figure is his gun and his little blast effect. So sadly, after doing the Hot Rod review, these gloves are really taking their toll, and they're starting to just pop off. Here is the gun with the individual blast effect, and this swirls around, so it doesn't look that cool. I don't know if the swirling is just a problem on mine or in general. I think it's just a problem on mine. But I don't see any plastic broken on the figure, so. On the Scourge himself, he was really just stuck inside his packaging. Kind of a hassle to take him out. But I'm pretty sure I did take everything out of Scourge's packaging. But when you do take Scourge out, he is just huge compared to Hot Rod. And there's no denying that Hot Rod was just a $30 deluxe figure. Only $30 because of his weapons. I'm going to try to push this background piece a little more so I can have some room for Scourge and Hot Rod together. So here's Scourge, and where I place him. And right here is Hot Rod. And you can obviously notice the size difference. Maybe that's why they made the wings big. Other than that, this is really just a deluxe figure. But God, does this Scourge look beautiful. Let me see if I can make him stand. There we go. Has a lot of accessories and everything. Well, not as much as Hot Rod. Quick look on the instruction manual. So, I like how it's so different from the other Studio Series. They may not look like Generation figures, but it still kept the red instructions for Autobots, purple for Decepticon look. And I do love that it still has the purple like any other Studio Series figure would. Overall, I'm completely fine with Studio Series figures being Generation 1 figures. I'm fine with that altogether. It doesn't matter for me overall. But it is really nice. And I'm just going to take a quick look at the instructions. And so Scourge does kind of, from the looks of it, have a fan mode. I don't know how that plays out, but I'm going to transform it and we're going to go from there. Alright, so like the last videos, because of how complicated these figures are, I'm going to use the instructions as I go along. So first we're going to come here to the legs and tab them in together. A little hard to do. And there we go. Next thing you want to do is come here down to the arms and just open these parts up like so. It's going to be hard doing it the first time. You just want to push those down. So one thing I did notice on Scourge is one of his hands is actually open while the other one remains closed. Sadly, this figure does not have openable arms. You're going to end up with something like this. I want to tab in these parts right here. Just like that, and just do it on both sides. And there we go. We will look at articulation a little bit later in the video. I'm just not that big with articulation. I'll still do it anyways though. So the next thing I'm going to do is kind of open these back wings up like so. Now you want to come here to these back parts and extend it down like so on both sides of the figure. And so far this is kind of looking like a shelf warmer. Overall, I don't have that big a problem with shelf warmers. Parts forming, I do have a problem, but if it's not necessary, then I'm good with parts forming. Sometimes it has to be done, but for shelf formers overall, characters like RC or Scourge, I understand why it needs to be shelf formed. So when making the wings ready, these parts kind of tab in. It's a really small thing. Let me see if I can zoom in. Just like that, you want to tab those in. And essentially just do that on both sides. And here is Scourge's backbone as of right now. Let's see if I can zoom out. There we go. Here's Scourge's backbone as of right now. So next thing you want to do on the figure is to open up these parts that will form the side guns on the figure. So like that basically. And the next part you want to do is just grab Scourge's head and just turn the gun around 180 degrees, but not the head. There we go. Now you just come here to this section. Just want to push it all the way in and tap that in there, like so. Next part is coming here and getting this panel and just flipping it up. Want to kind of extend this out like so, and from there just want to tab it in all the way down there on the figure. And by tabbing in, I mean these two little tiny ports will tab in right down here. Alright, so this is not really that much of a shelf warmer. So So after tabbing those in, so far this is the first time I'm transforming this figure, and so far it's actually been pretty fun. Haven't had any problems. Nothing's been ridiculously difficult or anything like that. Next thing you want to do is just come down here and flip those down, and just flip these up. Now the legs are out the way. Everything's going extremely great so far, actually. So then next thing you want to do is come here and just kind of grab this piece and just flip it up. It's gonna be hard to do, but just give me one moment. There we go. Not too difficult. So just flip this piece out like so and extend this part out so we can cover Scourge's face so we don't see it in his plain mode. I like that way better than the Generation 1 figure. They really did that better. Because for the Generation 1 figure, actually, it was somewhat of a different story to transform this guy. And from here, everything just kind of falls into place. Just get these parts up here. Extend them in there like so. Make sure everything's attached. Then just attach these tiny parts right here. And make sure everything just tabs in. Make sure those back parts tab in as well, and you're basically about done with the figure. Other than that, I think that's it. And the last step is coming down here and just pushing the wings in. Now, there's a few things here and there that are not tapped in. But yeah, it should end up looking like this, and this is a fairly accurate representation of Scourge. And I'm extremely loving this mode on the figure. The front looks nice. They really hit everything well in the figure as well. The back works kind of okay for the figure. And I guess you can kind of make this part here a launch effect or blast effect. I really feel like there's something wrong with my figure, because the blast piece shouldn't look like that, but who knows, just might be a problem on mine. But yeah, that's basically it for Scourge. Now there's one more mode that I want to get into. And before I continue any longer, you can actually grab the gun and just insert it right there. Now I do like this figure, and I might do the actual thing and buy 4 of these just to have an army of sweeps. So now there's an extra mode that I saw in the figure where you want to unplug these wings right here. Come here to the, actually just remove all these parts right here. Come here and open up this tab. And then the next thing you want to do is untap these side pieces and just completely open up Scourge from the bottom, well, from the little shell-like piece, like this, essentially. Then the next thing this mode tells you to do is essentially just open this part up and just push it all the way down. I don't know, I'm doing what the mode says to do. And then you tab everything back up. After tapping everything back up into the figure, you essentially just got the same thing in the beginning. So now this is basically it. I don't know what the difference is, but other than this coming down, it looks to be the same thing. So yeah, that seems to be this little fan mode, I guess, if you want to call it that. Still looks pretty nice. But really, overall, I don't see any differences from the actual Scourge figure. Just overall, there's no difference. I don't know what this was talking about. Anyways, back to turning this figure back into a robot, I guess. What you gotta do is just open up this panel, tab everything here. I guess that mode was supposed to be the animation error. So yeah, unplug everything out, come here, tab that in, kind of push that down, come here to the back, open this up, come here, just want to kind of push this area in like so, attach that in, push this down, and just turn around Scourge's little gun like so, and almost done. You just gotta fold that in and fold that in, push these parts down on both sides, and just repeat that on both sides of the figure, I guess. And other than that, the only other things left to do, come here and just extend out the parts on the legs. So yeah, other than that, I think that's pretty much the entire figure of itself. And just gotta unplug these. Alright, there we go. Sorry about that, it was hard to get the feet out. And the last part of the figure, untabbing these pieces, attaching this part in, and that's gonna be pretty much it. Just do it on both sides, and you have your behemoth of a figure. And lastly, just pull these parts up like so. So they meet up right there. And when doing that, you gotta tap those parts in so they fit in nicely. There we go, and that is its entirety Studio Series Scourge. Now, in my opinion, this might just be better than Hot Rod. Simple transformation, awesome figure, no shell forming, a lot of nice features. Didn't overdo on the accessories. A lot of things that the figure did nice. And just for fun, I'll just have Thundercracker here in the background. And replace him with Scourge. So, articulation. That's the one thing I haven't done yet. Alright. You can bring the arms up, down. They don't go full 360. Hands come up around this much. And basically extend. You can't really make him bend his knees, but you can at least bring the legs back, like so. It's hard to make him bend on his knees, so other than that, really not many problems. You can even make his, you even got a waist swivel on the figure and an ankle tilt. Sure, the hands don't move, and the head actually does go 360 degrees. I should just take these gloves off. Not helping after all. But overall, I do think this figure looks extremely nice, especially compared to the Hot Rod. Now, you can purchase this figure on CMD store. Definitely recommend it compared to Hot Rod. And yeah, in its entirety, that is basically Scourge. I love the robot mode. I love the ship mode. I don't know what the hell they were doing on the third mode, but it was still pretty nice. And I do recommend getting Hot Rod as well. You can buy them together. Last time I checked, I don't know if that's still available or not, but yeah, check them out. Pretty nice store. You can pre-order stuff there, and I think I'm pretty sure they'll ship it early. So yeah, overall, that is basically the figures that I've reviewed so far in this month. And check out for any other reviews, and if it's not too late, ask if you guys do want to see Earthrise, because I basically have the entire Earthrise line that was released in retail. I have all of Wave 1, have all of Wave 2 and 3 for every size class. The only figures I'm missing that was released in retail would be the Walmart Earthrise figures and just Thrust, the Quintesson Judge, and Megatron. If not, I have almost every figure. I even got Scorponok this time, unlike last year when I didn't get Omega Supreme. So if you guys do want to see Earthrise, just let me know and I'll review any of the figures that you guys want to see. But that's basically it for this review. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys subscribe to the channel. And thank you so much for 100 subscribers. Let's hope we can get 200 subscribers, hopefully. Let's not hope it doesn't take 3 years. Well, 3.5 years to do it. Hopefully by the next 3.5 years we're going to make it to 200 subscribers, or maybe even more. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.